when we talk about the Me Too movement, right? When I always mention the usual suspects, R. Kelly, Bill Cosby. Let's start with Bill Cosby, right? I've made multiple videos about R. Kelly. I will put the links in the bio for that. And those are like, and I remember like when R. Kelly got the federal prison sentence, and I did like a whole hour video. It wasn't even a live show. I did an hour video on how BS this whole thing was and how they were after his masters. Anyway, let's go to Bill Cosby. People like to say Me Too kind of targeted Trump first, but Bill Cosby was really Project Zero. The Me Too movement actually started in the mid 2000s, but just nobody cared at that time. You know what I mean? So now with Bill Cosby, the reason why I mentioned Bill Cosby at first, he was the first case where a girl, where ladies were saying, this happened to me 40, 50 years ago, like way past the statutes of limitations. Now this might be a bit of drunk history by me, so I'll put, if I say something inaccurate, forgive me, but I'm just trying to give you a quick rundown what happened to Bill Cosby. The ladies that were coming out, she was the first case where a lady came out on him and said he did this to me, and I think it was, and nothing was set in stone. She thought, kind of, because when they were trying to ask her to give details, it was pretty vague. And on top of that, she said that she was remembering all the stuff that he did to him, he did to her, and she was drugged. And without proper context, people don't understand how the 80s, like, you know, during that time, the 70s, the 80s, they don't realize how things worked back in the day. And on top of that, Bill Cosby was the first instance of the piling on effect. So once the first allegation came out against him, everybody really came to his defense. And then till another one. Then it turned into 50. And once it went past like 10, people were like, okay, what's going on? Now, to the normies, when they see 10 allegations, they don't look at, oh, these 10 were false. Because when you actually look at those cases, you're just like, there's nothing here. But to the normies, if they see 10, they think you did something. That's how rumors work. What you got to understand, the first allegation, what Bill Cosby taught us is the first allegation is enough to ruin you. In terms of, it's not, it means this, well, because that's actually, okay, so what I mean is by this, the piling on. One gives the opportunity for the rest to pile on. That's what I mean by when I say that. I kind of misspoke what I said. Bill Cosby was the first person that shows you if one comes out, you got to basically watch out for the rest of people that felt wrong by you, or they're just going to pile on because the normies are just going to be like, oh, he's got 20 allegations. Oh, he has 35 allegations. It doesn't matter if the first 3 or 4 were proven wrong. What's going to happen is once the 5th allegation comes, they're going to be like, oh, this is your 5th allegation. They're not going to say the 4 were proven wrong. They're just going to say that's your 5th allegation. This is why I like guys like Coach Greg Adams, because he goes into this and he's like, guys, 1 is enough. Look what happened to YK Osiris right now. Now another girl will say, oh, he did this to me. And even though it's cap, but 1 is enough. Now, in terms of the Bill Cosby, what's interesting about him is the way they framed him, it was like he was like some pill popping monster that was putting things in women's drinks. What's they called it? Spanish fly, right? In women's drinks without their consent, which was not true. What people got to understand during that time, during the 70s, 80s, this is how they went down. This is how the sex parties went down. And it's still how the sex parties go down today. Now, you got to people be signing NDAs now, so they can't tell you all that. What happens, especially back in the 70s, ask anybody that grew up during that time. I have. It was a wild time, especially sexually. And like the 70s and 80s, where the birth control pill came out, people, 60s, 70s, and 80s, when the birth control came out, people were going buck wild. And really, the only thing that stopped it was the AIDS. That's what stopped. That kind of what stopped. That kind of slowed everything down for a minute because, you know, people were just having AIDS and then just dropping dead like flies. And people were like, okay, we got to relax. You know what I mean? Most of those allegations that came from Bill Cosby, a lot of them was when he would go up to the Playboy Mansion and he would have fun. Now, what people don't understand with the Playboy Mansion, that's basically, it's a brothel, basically. And Hugh Hefner was the ultimate pimp. So what happens is you would just pick your girl, right? literally like that. you would and the problem is with the Playboy Mansion, you would have all these girls coming over. Not all of them were Hugh Hefners per se. Those are just girls that were, exploring and trying to see what those celebrities are like. And you know what I mean? And what would happen is you would take this party drug, right? They still do this to this day. At that time, it was Spanish Fly or something else, and things would get going on and cracking. That's how it worked. There was no trickery or anything like that. That's why I say what happened to Bill Cosby can happen to you. Because if just one girl comes out and says you did something to them, another girl that if things didn't work out between you and that other person, or if she's low on money, she needs rent money, she's going to say, oh, he did something too. He did something to me too. You know what I mean? And that's basically why I bring up Bill Cosby and R. Kelly most of the times. But here's the funny thing about this Me Too thing. This is the funniest thing, man. Me Too has done nothing but mess up everything. The whole Me Too movement has just caused chaos. Men and women don't even mess. They don't even want men don't even want to talk. Like the average man don't even want to talk to women no more. They're just like, no, they don't want to talk to most men and women meet their husbands and wives at work. Now, I'm talking about like people like at workspaces. Men don't want to mentor women no more. They don't even want to talk to them. They don't want to show them anything. Women are feeling left out. This whole Me Too movement has done nothing but cause such a hedge between the genders to where now we're really separated. And what does Me Too really have to show for it? Because the Me Too movement was supposed to talk about people in the entertainment industry, right, in the higher ups that took advantage of their position and was taking advantage of girls under them. That was supposed to be the point of Me Too, and really, it has done nothing. The only people that they got really locked up was two ninjas, R. Kelly and Bill Cosby. And I'm like, all this chaos, this Me Too, this Me Too thing done had, and really. And I don't want to hear about Harvey Weinstein. He's not even like guys like that. They don't get put in the same spots. Like R. Kelly and Bill Cosby went to prison. Guys like Harvey Weinstein, they don't go to prison. And it's not because he's just white. It's because he's a part of a certain community. It's in his last name. And I'm going to leave it at that. So really what Me Too, it basically destroyed everything. I'm not going to say the main cog, but one of the biggest cogs in this whole gender divide BS that we have is this Me Too movement. And what does the Me Too movement have to show for it overall? It got two ninjas locked up. Fucking congratulations. You got two niggas locked up. Kamala Harris just called. She said that's slight work. Two niggas locked up. That's what they got to show for it. That's what the Me Too movement got to show for it. Two niggas locked up. Are y'all happy? Because they didn't really put nobody in real prominence locked up. It didn't really get Donald Trump locked up. He got like 20. How many allegations he had? It didn't get. Man, when Biden had the allegations against him, Me Too people didn't do nothing to him. They asked the Me Too, the girl that started the Me Too movement. I don't really even remember her name, but we call her KRS2 instead of KRS1, KRS2, because she looks exactly like KRS1. They asked her, "What do you think about the allegations for Biden?" And she was like, "Well, we have to go through the process, and innocent until proven." I was like, "What? This is what we doing?" I said, "Oh, I see what this is." Man, Me Too can kiss my whole entire black behind with this BS, because like literally all the chaos it has caused, and really when you look at the results, how many it didn't even get anybody with real power locked up. It really didn't. Like, and now the people in power, the actual predators are actually even more empowered. Have you noticed? Because the Me Too is supposed to be about the people in the entertainment industry. Because I be at clubs and stuff, not because I want to go to clubs, because I work there a lot of times now. Not just on some music stuff, on some production stuff, audio, camera work, and all that. If you ask the girls that go to the club, the only guys that they claim as their boyfriends or in their body count are people in the industry. Those are the only dudes that they claim now, and that's supposed to be the supposed place where all these predators are. The Me Too movement has done nothing, man, nothing, but got two niggas locked up. That's all they got to show for it. Two niggas locked up. That's all they got to show for it. If you ask the random, It's supposed to be protecting girls, right? It have them have a platform. And even like when certain people in power got in trouble, they swept it under the rug. Me Too has done nothing. Absolutely nothing. One of the biggest shams outside of the body positivity movement and what else? Body positivity movement and something else. One of the biggest scams of this decade, man. Like for real.